Route 66 might just be the ultimate American road trip. It's definitely become seen as the quintessential American road trip. Of all the states that Route 66 passes through, California is probably the most unique, the most diverse, and even for Route 66 enthusiasts, it's often the most overlooked segment of Route 66. How's this for diversity? On a good summer's day, the Colorado River Valley, you cross into from Arizona, some of the hottest temperatures in the country, sometimes pushing 114, 115 in Needles, California. I've seen days as high as 124 degrees. You get out in the vast Mojave Desert, 111 degrees at Amboy. You get out on Santa Monica Pier, 69 degrees on the same day. Another example of the incredible diversity you have in the little town of Daggett, almost a ghost town, not quite, but closing in on it. You have the Desert Market that opened in 1909. In downtown LA, just a block or so from the original Western terminus at 7th and Broadway in the Los Angeles Theater District, you have the hustling, bustling Grand Central Market that opened in 1917. As a bonus, not only is this an amazing and dynamic and vibrant food court, if you will, it also has quite a collection of neon signage. Here's another thing. You think about traffic congestion. Well, traffic congestion has been part of the Southern California experience for at least 60, 70, maybe even 80 years. But where else, except in California on Route 66, can you find empty highways and traffic congestion, all within spitting distance of each other? But if you time it right, like early Sunday morning or a Saturday, you can drive Route 66 with minimal congestion. I have trouble in any town with more than 3 stoplights, and I've been able to negotiate Route 66. From San Bernardino to Pasadena, I've found ways and times a day to beat the crush of traffic. Even to downtown LA on a Sunday morning from Pasadena, traveling the beautiful Aurora Seco Parkway. Not a problem at all. I've yet to find a good time to drive Route 66 from downtown LA to Santa Monica through Hollywood along Santa Monica Boulevard. That seems to be always congested. But I guess that's part of the fun. You have to be prepared for stoplights. That's part of the Route 66 experience in the Los Angeles metropolitan area. Uh, Consider that there's 133 stoplights on Foothill Boulevard, which is Route 66, between San Bernardino and Pasadena. It's it makes it a little challenging if you're in a hurry, if you're trying to make some time. But my question is, why would you travel Route 66 if you're in a hurry? Besides, sitting at a stoplight gives you a chance to see some of the things along the roadside. And along the roadside are so many delightful, wonderful, fascinating, often overlooked time capsules. Here's a little gem on Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena. This was a former Packard dealer that opened in the 1920s. And not only do you have the Spanish Baroque styling of the building, but notice the window itself. See, Packard had a trademark shape to its radiator shell, its grill. And there it is, made manifest in the dealership window. And of course, Santa Monica Pier. Now, a little bit of clarification here. There's signs, there's a few other things on Santa Monica Pier. Dan Rice and Ian Bowen have the last stop shop there. But if you go out to Manny Mendelssohn's on at the end of the pier, you have the real last stop shop. Been there since about 92. Manny was a friend of Bob Waldmeier's, and there's a display of Bob Waldmeier artwork out there at the end of the pier. But Santa Monica Pier never was and still isn't really the end of 66. The end of Route 66, the last western terminus, was out at Lincoln and Olympic, a couple blocks from Santa Monica Pier. But I ask you, who's going to drive Route 66 from Chicago to Santa Monica, not put up with all those stoplights, all the traffic, and the trials and tribulations of a transcontinental road trip, and not travel a couple blocks to Santa Monica Pier? And there's the last stop shop at the end of the pier, Bob Waldmeyer's display and artwork. Uh, Dan Rice and Ian Bowen have a shop. It's not I can't remember the name, but it's a nice little kiosk, and right at the it's a traditional. You can get a stamp and a certificate there that you completed the entire length of Route 66. You have photo opportunities at every turn or stoplight. That's kind of a challenge because you guys. The best thing I can recommend is pick an area, find a place to park, and then walk for several blocks and repeat the process. The Aztec Hotel in Monrovia. It's not open anymore, but for the lucky few who get to see inside, it is an architectural masterpiece. But just the facade is pretty interesting. My go to place in Pasadena, the mid 1950s Saga Motor Hotel. This is an absolute time capsule of 1950s California. And then you have some interesting signage along the road here and there. One of my favorites is this old neon sign, Ned's Oil and Stuff. And the view of the Hollywood sign, well, that was taken from the Hollywood Forever Cemetery along Route 66. And that in itself is quite a destination. But if you're going to do a lot of photography in the cemetery, please get permission at the office first. A few examples of the diversity of Route 66 in California. The Mojave Desert, Roy's. Unfortunately, Route 66 is still closed and probably will be for the foreseeable future between Essex and Kelbaker Road. So what you have to do is follow I-40 to Kelbaker Road, and then you can go south into Amboy and pick up Route 66 near Amboy, travel through Amboy to Ludlow. One of the most photographed sites on Route 66. You have the Mother Road Museum and the old Harvey House and Railroad Complex in Barstow. And then continuing to the right, you have the historic Angel's Crest Incline Railway down by Grand Central Market. It's about a block off Route 66. And of course, coming into Ludlow, Route 66 is kind of a big empty. Emma Jean's Hollenberger. Don't judge a book by its cover. Good food. Place looks a little wore around the edges, but it's earned it. Place has been there since the late 1940s, just outside of Victorville, California. Eclectic, odd, fascinating shops and neon all along the road. This particular place there, the thrift store, is in Pasadena. Haunting images of what once was, taken in Ludlow. The El Rancho Motel, well, I'm afraid that's gone. They've had a fire and a few other things. The restaurant was gone some years ago. Now the motel's been damaged. But on my last trip through, the signage was still there. A little side trip that's often overlooked. It wasn't overlooked by Route 66 travelers in the 50s and 60s, is Mitchell's Cavern State Park. It's just there in the Mojave Desert, short little drive, 4 or 5 miles off the highway. And let's continue to the right, across the top. That is the Aurora Seco Parkway. That was not only an engineering marvel in the late 1930s, 1940s, but it happens to have the distinction of being the only scenic byway in a major metropolitan area. An old photo of downtown Barstow, an old photo of Needles, and then down at the bottom, you can see the original alignment of Route 66 in Needles from the upstairs portico at the historic El Garces. By the way, the old El Garces Railroad Hotel and Harvey House is open for tours. The museum is directly across the square, and you can inquire there for information about the tours. We have another couple old street views to show you how Route 66 looked in its glory days in these old communities. Well, that gives you a kind of a short rundown of the diversity you can expect to find in California on Route 66. My favorite time of year to travel this would be fall. October is good. I like doing a lot of October trips. Early spring is quite nice too. The summer gets pretty intense, even for an old desert rat like me. I'm a dry roasted nut. I love the desert country, but you can get too much of a good thing. And down along that Colorado River and out in the Mojave Desert, it gets pretty darn hot. And a little bit of word of warning and advice: if you do travel Route 66 in the summer, carry water. You may not need it, but you might find somebody who does. And if you do any hiking, any time of the year, but especially during summer, like from Amboy out to the short trail out to Amboy Crater, let somebody know where you're going, when you expect to be back, and carry lots of water. If it's in the summer, do your hiking early in the morning. Well, I hope that gives you a bit of a teaser. I hope that encourages you to take a bit of a road trip. Don't be intimidated by stoplights and traffic. Just, well, enjoy the venture. Thanks for joining me for an adventure in Jim Hinckley's America. Inspiring road trips by telling people where to go. It's what I do. Take care, my friends.